The Lunar event is finally done. Will the Shadowland team turn the tide of Alliance War like their build? And there are a lot of rumors floating out there. This week on your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update, I am joined by Tony Scungili, and he may have some rumors of his own. And if you're ready for that, Tony, tell him what to do, my friend.
There are multiple polarizing events. There may be a silver lining.
ValleyFlyin.
Whoa, yeah, what is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome to your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by Tony Scungili, and we have a lot to discuss. This Lunar event is finally over. The Shadowland team, are they going to be as good as Build, or are they going to be a Skilletary or Wakanda's 2.0? We also have some important blitzes, and we're discussing Wandavision with some spoilers, guys. So if you haven't seen episode 7, make sure you watch that before you check out this video. But what is up, my brother Tony Scungili? How have you been?
What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Woo, a lot of stuff good going on, man. I am happy that you're joining us because you are the resident rumor guy. And yes. Another one of the resident rumor guys. How are you liking Marvel Strike Force right now? Things a little better since the last time we talked?
No.
Okay.
No, but Mobile said something that made me kind of wake up a couple days ago. He's like, this is a hobby. Some hobbies are expensive. Some hobbies are great. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's not. I'm not doing their work for them. So I'm going to enjoy this game the way I want to, regardless of how to fix the game or whatever. It's not my responsibility. Yeah. I'm going to have fun. If I don't like the game, I'll move to another hobby. If they fix stuff, I'll come back. I'm enjoying the game at the level I'm playing it, but I found that I've spent money in this game. So I'm not giving them as much money. I'm having as much fun as I am when I was giving them money. I'm fine. Okay. Yeah. So when all the things that happen that suck, I'm like, okay, well, thankfully I didn't waste any more money on this or, spend on something stupid. But ultimately, I'm still enjoying the parts of the game that I am making for myself to enjoy. Yeah,
obviously there's issues with Marvel Strike Force right now, but I'm still having fun. And I'm not spending as much money as normal, but there is something that I do want to spend some money on, and it is this thing right here. Now, I don't know what I think it was. What was the U.S. price? Was it $9.99 in U.S. dollars for 1,700 Lunar credits, which gets you a crap load of either Cull or Ghost Shards. This erroneous offer was taken down after less than 10 minutes. And word is that there's supposed to be coming some offers this week that are similar that everybody could buy. First thing, before I get into some of these conspiracy theories, who do you think is the more valuable choice for more players? I know you were pretty vocal about it before we started recording, but what do you think the majority of players should be doing with this offer if it does pop up, if they are choosing to spend money?
Well, first, disclaimer, you're going to make the decision that's best for you, whoever you are, and I can't tell you that you're right or wrong because it's what's best for you. For me, even though Cull is arguably harder to get, Ghost has a value. How much it costs to get Ghost. 5 Ghost Shards are 1,400 credits, war credits. Yeah. So 250 Ghost Shards is what? 60,000 war credits? You know what I mean?
Something like that.
It's some absurd amount of war credits. Yes, I do understand that Cull is rare. And for some people, Cull is clearly an option and a good option, especially if you were willing to spend the money on all 3 packs and get 250 character shards. But for me, especially where I am in the game, Ghost is new enough and good enough, not only at every stage of the game, but the stage I'm at right now, that I'm not going to turn down $30 for 250 Ghost Shards, no matter what. You know what I mean?
Some
Like no
really good
matter
value.
what. So
Best value I've seen for a new character like this. And obviously if one of these offers or multiple of these offers is going to get you to the next star level, that might be the way. But with the way these orbs are, you could, it doesn't all have to be for all ghost or all cult. You can open, you know, whatever you need of these. So it's pretty good. Now, all right. Are you ready to put on your tinfoil hat? Figurative. I see you looking for one. Figuratively. Oh, you really have one. Okay. Nice. All right. So a lot of the community is thinking this was done on purpose. The Jeff that we're talking about was done on purpose. This is to make the community happy. They put this offer out. Just give it to a few people. Like, hey, I want to do the offer. I want to spend some money on this game. I know things are, people are upset, but I want to spend some money on this game too. Can we get this offer as well? And there's like, all right, we will. And this gets people spending again, forgetting about some of the problems. Do you buy into that theory, or is there some merit to it? No. There's no merit, or you don't buy in.
No, they're not smart enough. They're not smart. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, this is people, like, they're not playing 4D chess. They're literally eating dirt. Like, they're not smart enough to pull something off on, like.
What about Jeff individually? Is Jeff individually smart enough to pull this out and pull his company so he has a job?
Oh, like the difference between Scopely doing it and one guy making this mistake on purpose? I would totally believe one person is just being like, like that's just totally fine and hilarious. Yeah.
That'll show the player base they don't want to spend money.
But like it's such a like zero brain. You know, like the meme with like big brain, small brain. Yeah. It's like zero brain. Be like, well, this is a design. Like, no, it's not. They're not smart. They're not that smart. Their only thing they're good at is taking money from people who have money. It's all they're and it's not even hard. They're like Marvel character, spend, and people do it. Like they're not clever. They're not like, ooh, what if we trick them? If this was the case, they would have had a prepared statement immediately. They wouldn't have taken this offer down, and the new offers would be up right now. Like, no, like there's not even to sell the drama. There's no way this was planned. This is yet another mistake from a company that is consistently making mistakes. Like.
It just baffles me that they can continue to make these same mistakes over and over. Oh, this is an awesome offer. Oh, wait, we didn't want it to be going out to everybody. Just certain. I don't know. The mistakes seem very consistent. So I'm not totally convinced. Yeah. So let me know what you guys are thinking.
The orange gear was the mistake, right?
Oh, the big Australian offer.
Yeah, that was a big brain plan.
Oh, yes. Like, all right. All right, well, let's talk about the new character. The new character that some people bought, some people didn't. I ended up buying her, didn't go that hard on her. Pulled a 2 red star, but this morning on stream, opened one of my 5s and got lucky with that. So I feel that she's going to be a good character down the road. Obviously, not right now, unless you're going to spend a lot of resources to get the gold stars on her. Have you bought White Tiger?
She's a campaign character, man. I'm getting a 4-star no matter what.
All right. So, all right. I tried her out in one Blitz match for the video that I did on White Tiger. I have not used her since. But I think down the road that she may be an important war character or maybe an important standalone character because I do like her kit. What are your feelings about White Tiger and her importance in the future in Marvel Strike Force?
I like her. I do. I like her and I like Moon Knight. I think they're very good characters. I think they have a very, very strong kit. I think they do, like you said, stand to be very strong in the future. And I believe the Shadowland team is better than people are giving them, credit for, but I don't inherently think that they're like the best thing to happen since like sliced bread or whatever. Here's my issue, and this is a great segue, and you kind of set up for it.
I tried.
You have a 2-star White Tiger, right?
Yep.
In the game right now, for you, what can you use her for?
Nothing. Not even a good Blitz team. I mean,
assuming you had a 3-star White Tiger, what could you use her for?
Same. She's going to be on a trash Blitz. I need her at least at 5-star, 5 red, 5 gold, 5 red for me to at least think about using her in any kind of war, any kind of content other than Blitz. That's just the way the game is right now. This is why I said down the road, when she becomes farmable, we are able to obtain more gold stars of her. I think she'll be usable. Right now, though, I don't know where to use her because there's no way to get the resources, build her up to that usable level. And that's kind of going to be the problem with Shadowland. That's going to be the problem with Skilletary. And Wakana's just, they weren't made good in the first place. They need a rework.
The last 7 characters, I'm not even exaggerating this number. The last 7 characters that have come out, I have pulled more red stars on than I have gold stars for. Or had, now by this point, orbs have given me more shards or events or something. But that's just what happened. Like, I'll pull 4. I usually average at 4 stars on every character I pull for. Yeah. So like 4 or 5, like my Iceman's 5, my Bishop's only 3. And here's the issue. I'm getting the exact same amount of shards per purchase today as I was last year, as I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The game does not allow me to use characters at that level now.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad that I'm not getting as much for my money. But the game itself got stronger. So this is where we run into an issue. $24.99 for a 2-star character that I can, with campaign and whatever, possibly get up to 4 or 5-star. $50 for a 3-star, because you buy it twice, you'll probably get a 3-star or so. Character that with campaign I could probably get to 4 or 5-star.
Yeah.
I might get some viability out of them, but when I'm using a 5-star 4 red for the sake of the argument character up against just hypothetically a 6/7 Sinister with max ISOs who's 141k. I'm only saying that because I'm looking at my Sinister right now. Yeah. If I'm doing that, this character is useless. So I'm okay with the idea that if you spend a lot of money on the character, you get a stronger version of the character, and that's fine. The problem is I have a problem with the floor. The ceiling I get, and I'm supporting it. I think it's fine. You're supposed to get something for your money, and that's cool. But the floor needs to be raised, because now if I spend $25, I don't get anything. This is not worth $25. She's not worth $25, because for me, and I would argue for a ton of players in the game right now, she doesn't do $25 worth of value for your team. She just sets you up so that, like you said, one day in the future, you could theoretically have a good version of the team. The problem is, by that time in the future, this team might suck. Yeah,
the meta might have passed them far into stuff, and that's kind of the problem with the being able to build up our characters the way we want. There's not access to the gold stars on a reliable basis. We don't know when these characters are gonna be farmable. It might be in a couple months, might be in a couple years. It's just we have no way of knowing when this team is going to be viable. Now, I did like the Axemen. They were kind of a change from that. They're viable right now in the raids right now, but that also brings up some questions of power creep. If they keep doing that, eventually these characters are going to be, a lot of these characters need reworks if they keep releasing characters that are usable at this low level. So I think the solution is to make them farmable earlier to avoid power creep, because they're not usable right now.
The X-Men, the Astonishing X-Men, I have a series right now where I'm just autoing with a 250k team through U7.5.
That's how good they are.
Look at them go.
That's fun.
Look at them go.
That's fun.
My Bishop is 50k, 3/3, 3 yellow, 3 red, and he's just dead. And that's awesome. I support making characters that are that strong. The problem is, if every character that's strong, the power creep is going to make all previous investments even more useless. Yeah. But if you increase the farmability of these characters, like I've been saying forever, 3 months after the event ends, the character should be farmable. No more ever than 3 months.
That seems like a very good compromise, right? 3 months. They get to make their money. We get stuff reliably.
People, the idea for me, and this is from business side, make your money on the early adopters and then allow people the opportunity to buy. After 3 months, the amount of people who are going to buy doesn't drop dramatically.
Yeah.
I'm still going to need 50 character shards of White Tiger eventually.
Yeah.
My finances are what's going to make me choose whether to buy it or not. My finances are capable of. Some people's aren't. No one in this game is going to be like, God, I need this White Tiger, but it's either that or food for my children. That's not going to happen. I get certain characters are really good. Symbiote Spider-Man, Emma, you want to kind of milk them for what they're worth because they're good characters. I understand that. No fault there. But the amount of time, like, it's time for certain characters to just be immediately ready. This idea that they said way back when, we'll make one character farmable or 2 every month on the first Wednesday. Like, dude, we're still in a negative of 15. Like 2 characters, and you're still adding 3 on average, 2.5 a month, because it's like 4 every month and a half or something like that. But you're still adding more characters.
Yeah.
Like, if you intend on releasing 3 characters every 90 days, we'll call a patch about, on average of 2.5 characters a month. If that's what you're actually going to do, just make it so that, like, the other characters become farmable for the most part.
Yeah.
You have the mechanisms to release harder characters. You have milestone releases, you have like event releases, you have campaign releases. If you're giving the character a campaign treatment, I appreciate you adding them to like mega orbs and stuff like that. I appreciate that. That does help some players have access to characters, but premium orbs suck, mega orbs suck, milestone orbs suck. Like, either make the orbs better or just fill stores up, fill nodes up. Like, it takes nothing. I understand you're losing potential money doing it, but like, are you?
Maybe
Like,
they're losing potential money not doing it because people know, I buy this offer, they're still not going to be usable in a few months. Why am I spending this money? So it may actually reverse. They may make more money by having it stuff. I don't know, but yeah.
Let me be clear. I didn't buy this offer not because I don't have the money. I didn't buy this offer because I can't be bothered by buying a character, getting 4 or 5 stars on them, and then being useless.
Yeah.
Like, I that's why I didn't buy this offer, because I can't wait for it. Like, I can't be bothered to work on her when, like, there's just better things. I don't care if this is the best arena war team. Some people are going to spend the money, do what they're going to do, and be fine with it. And that's great. And that's wonderful. And I support that. But I can't be bothered.
Got it.
I can't give them $25 for a character that might be useful potentially one day. And I have no fear of missing out because I don't care that much.
Well, like you said, her event is coming up very soon. You can unlock her, probably that 4-star unlock. I did want to ask you about that event, though. It should be happening sometime this week. Let me just check the event, see if it popped up in there. Yes, so it's happening in 2 days, 4 hours is when that Shadowland event is starting, and we're going to need characters with that Infiltrator trait. Have you looked at this Infiltrator trait to see if there's any characters that stand out for newer players or mid-game players that are trying to unlock this? I mean, at a certain point, all these events are pretty much auto as your roster gets bigger, but for newer players, mid-game players, they may not have all these characters built up. Is there anybody that you would really recommend, or just whoever is built the biggest?
Nick Fury. Now that he's been retired and everyone has access to him, Nick Fury is a huge take. Now, a lot of people won't recognize that because Nick Fury's kind of fallen off over the last time. Yeah. But Nick Fury has a turn 1 speed up for an entire team if you use the abilities correctly. He also has a summon, which can help you extend the time of the game. Even like we're not even talking about tier 4s, just like generally Nick Fury is a good addition. The problem is you don't have the rest of his team. So if you're, again, I'm not going to go say things that are obvious, right? I'm not going to be like Symbiote Spider-Man and Emma and Ghost. Like, these characters are great. We know. Duh. But a lot of people don't have that. So there seems to be access to characters like Daredevil, Mr. Fantastic, Night Nurse, Miles. I think Miles is the best in everything. And anyone who knows me knows that I love Miles. So like, add Miles to any team and you're going to have a good time with it. There's a lot of Jessica Jones, Punisher. There's a lot of decent options. We don't know what the fights look like yet, but you have a little bit of an early game. If you can push a little bit more characters like Symbiote Spider-Man, Black Widow, Longshot, X-23, huge value on her sustainability. Ghost, honestly, with what's going on now, Ghost seems like a really good option.
Yeah.
Especially if you spend $10 and get like a whole bunch of ghost shards.
Get all the unlock ghosts and help this event as well. Let me ask you about this line real quick about this Shadowland team. They said they're going to turn and this was in relation to Moon Knight, but turn the tide of alliance war with Moon Knight. Do you think that the Shadowland team in general, once they're built up, we already talked about the issues with maybe not being able to build them up as much as we want, but do you think when they're fully built up, they will be able to turn the tide of alliance war, countering Black Order, countering Mercs, countering Marauders, like we've seen in some footage?
I think they'll counter the Marauders.
Okay.
And I think that that a team that is good enough to beat the Marauders, or more particularly some of the Marauders hybrids we've been seeing, where people are pulling either Mystique or Sabretooth out and putting in like Doc Ock or Blob or somebody. Like if this team, because everyone they put in is also a villain, and if this team like Daredevil takes advantage of beating up villains and stuff like that, if this team can beat Marauders at their core, then like it does its job, right? Like it like X-Force was built to beat the Asgardians. It turns out the X-Force can also beat the piss out of the Mercs, beat up the Doc Ock Sinister Six, the chargeable Sinister Six team. They could beat up the actual Marauders. They just take a lot of investment. It's more of a punch across than a punch up, but again, there's like breakpoints for that. So I think that if this team has a like we beat the Marauders, that's just their value is there. Okay. That means for every person in your alliance that has them, they could beat one Marauders team. And then if there's any extra value, like if they happen to be able to also beat the Mercenaries or Hydra or whatever, Asgardians are the joke now. But like any of those teams, that just gives them more and more value. So I do think I always like offense over defense, and I think that a good offense team is worth more than one good defense team. Some people disagree. They're wrong. If I could beat what you put up, it doesn't matter what you put up, that kind of thing. So I think that this team has the option. And since 3 of the characters are like infinite in the, like anyone who's been playing long enough have it, then the people who are playing at that high power, like the long-term players who are just like playing in like really rough like wars, they're going to have the answer. And I think that's worthwhile. So I like it. I like the team. Okay.
It's just the release the release timing of it. That's the issue. And when are we going to get shards? Now, speaking of shards, we got the kit for Moon Knight. We saw that a few weeks ago. I guess this is the final version, though, because when we got the kit a few weeks ago, it was like, oh, this is tentative. There may be some changes. This is the final version. I don't think there were too many changes made, if any. But that begs the question, how do you think he is going to be released? I think a lot of people are suspecting milestone release. We don't currently have a milestone character. He seems like his kit is good enough to be a milestone release character. Do you think he's going to be the person or the character replacing Emma in that? Or are you feeling he's going to do a different release method? Or have you heard anything about his release method?
I heard that he's a milestone, but not like Emma. I heard he's a milestone like Red Guardian,
like a milestone event release.
Yeah. Okay. And the reason why is all my information is telling me that the next patch is coming somewhere after the first week of March. Okay. So basically Friday is the beginning of or Friday or Saturday is the beginning of the what's it called event. Next Monday is the Moon Knight offer. Next Monday or Tuesday is the Moon Knight offer. I don't know which
offer.
One.
Okay. So that means
this Friday
later.
This Friday is going to be the announcement of stuff that's coming in the future, because we're out of information. Like we this patch is done, right? We know everything. Yeah. We know all the characters. We know all of the events. We know all of the things. The only thing we don't know is 2. 1, how Moon Knight's being released. 2, what they're doing with seasonal milestones. And 3, what the next patch looks like. So this is going to be this next patch on Friday, or the next blog post rather on Friday, is going to be a little bit of a like, hey, so this is the teaser. This is what you should pay attention to. Pay attention to the silver lining. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like kind of stuff. And there's multiple options. Like you're going to get some information like, oh, I wonder what it means. I'll tell you what it means. But like the idea is that like we're going to get some information this week. Next week, we'll get like a full notice of the patch. And then the patch will probably come out Monday or Tuesday of the second week of March. So 8th, 9th. And that's when we'll start getting more information. I don't believe we're going to get the Emma offer, the replacement of Emma, until March. March is a big patch from what I've heard. Okay. March is ISO 8 Blues, or at least like everything that's happening in March is setting up for the next couple of patches. Okay. So they might either come out in this month or be added, which is why there's not many characters supposedly coming in the next patch. But I've heard different rumors of who the replacement for Emma is. And honestly, Moon Knight looks good. Moon Knight does not look Emma good.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Not Emma or Symbiote Spider-Man level good, or Captain Marvel at the time even. Coulson was a little weird. Coulson was a little weird at the time, but the other 3 were very, very good. Yeah,
he looks Coulson now. Like, oh yeah, I guess I could use it.
Well, I think he's a little better than Coulson now, but yeah. All right, so you said you think this blog post can have a lot of information. That also brings up this 2021 roadmap. Do you think that we're getting this week? They said a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they said 3 weeks. So that would be the 5th, would be the 3rd week. So do you think that we're getting?
I think that's.
You think we're getting
next week?
Which?
The 5th.
The 5th.
March 5th.
The 5th is when we're getting the
5th.
blog post. We're getting information about the patch this Friday is what you're predicting?
I think that they try. Like, I'll give them credit where credit's due. They try. They fail spectacularly, but they try. So I think that this week we're getting like a little bit of a tease. We're getting a little bit of what the rest of this patch is going to look like, and hopes of the next patch.
Okay.
Maybe we might even get that. But next week, where they're going to give us the information about the patch, I think it'll also be a roadmap. And it might be 2 separate posts, but like they did 2 weeks ago or something like that. But like, they have the roadmap, or at least they have what they're willing to tell us about the roadmap ready. So at this point, it's just like, we need to hype something. You know, like we need something, because everybody's kind of like, nah.
Well, we have some rumors of some characters. We'll talk about what characters might be coming in a potential patch and what they might discuss if we're talking about characters today, or not today, but in when they do the roadmap. I did want to shift topics though. Doom raids, very, very hard. First strike version. Our alliance attempted this the first time earlier this week, and 30% on 2 of the strike teams, but the third one, we had some people leave in the middle of the raid, so we didn't hit the 30%. Have you guys tried this yet?
I want to know why they left. Were they just like, no?
You know what? I'm not involved in the alliance stuff. I'm usually the alliance leader contacts me directly, but yeah, they just left. I guess there was some drama in the alliance. I tried to stay out of that, but yeah.
It just sounds like this raid caused them to quit the game, the way you said it. I was like, no!
I don't think it was this raid. I wasn't fully in all the chats, but we tried it. We didn't get it, but we had some issues going on. Have you guys tried this yet?
No, we did it once back then. Whatever, I don't care. Like, honestly, I'll do it when like my axemen are strong enough to do it, but like I don't care. It's not like, dude, I barely care about doing like Alpha 3.
Okay.
You know, like my alliance, we're all like, let's do stuff, and then like our hype dies like immediately. Like we'll be like, let's do this, and then we'll go in and be like, that was too hard. Let's do something easy.
I mean, it feels good sometimes when you get smashed and you go back later and like, oh, I didn't get smashed as much, and you go back later like, oh, I beat this. So there is that kind of progression. The only thing I don't like about the Doom raids right now is that it's using the same currency to launch the Ultimus raids. I wish it was some different currency that kind of like with the first strike of the Ultimus 7. We built it up. Once in a while, we could attempt it with a different currency so that we could kind of judge our progress. Right now, it's either this or the Ultimus 7 raids. That's the only thing I'm not like, and the rewards suck. The rewards are bad, but
the reward. So here's the thing. The rewards are better than what the current rewards are for U7.5, but that doesn't matter because those things suck. So you know what I mean? Like, better rewards. Like it doesn't.
Oh, I gotta beep you. I gotta put one beep. All right, let's move on though. And I hope I don't have to beep a lot of this section because we're talking about this event that I don't know if a lot of people were happy with. I guess in the end of the day, it ended up being pretty good if you didn't participate. But if you're trying to hit these milestones, very, very frustrating. The Lunar Event milestones. Oh, where did you go? I got to get you back on here. There you are. All right. The Lunar Event milestones. Not only spending cores, which upset a lot of people. 5,000 cores to max out these rewards every single day, brought down to 3,000. In addition, the good thing, if you did not want to participate in this event, get those rewards, getting 100 power cores per day just because of these changes. So not totally bad. The new milestones were good, but there were a lot of things surrounding this. It was cheating, people claiming extra rewards, people switching alliances to get some extra red stars. I
did that.
And you know what? Scopely has said, or has shown in the past, they don't punish people that do that kind of stuff. So there's like, do it.
They don't care.
Do it. They don't. But yeah, they had that. The reward for the last milestone itself was pretty bad. Most people ended up getting like 3,700 Elite 4 credits and not getting a character, which it was kind of led to believe, and we couldn't store this in our inventory and open it later. It was a special orb, wasn't a very good reward. The milestone started late on the last day because they're trying to address the cheating. They didn't do it right. There was no communication of what happened to those, what the compensation was going to be, how the event was going to be extended. No communication on that. And the Valley Club this morning on chat said it wasn't Scopely's fault. It was Agatha all along. What is your take of this event?
Honestly, dude. Like, do you want me to be mad? Like I've said many times, if you make a mistake, you've made a mistake, and if you make multiple mistakes, then there's something needs to be fixed. But at this point, it's a tradition.
All right, that's two. I gotta edit out.
It's a tradition. Like I'll redo it.
No. Just keep going. I'm ready to edit. I'm keeping this part in. This is not a blooper. We'll keep going.
So the event was a miss, and I actually did a video and I discussed how I think that the second version of the event was better. Now, yes, this is an event where you have to spend cores. And I don't have a problem with that. Like, reward people for spending money. Like, that's a good thing.
Yes.
But there has to be a barrier where it's like everyone gets something, people who spend get more.
Yes.
And the first pass of the event was just terrible.
Yeah.
The second pass of the event was like better, but not good. And like, we didn't get the last orb in my line. We got everything but the last thing, which is all that I cared about because I wanted like the gear tier 14
you
stuff.
Probably would have gotten in pieces of Elite Four, not even a full Elite Four for all your troubles. And that's it didn't feel good after all the cores. That was the big reward.
It took me to play I had to play other games, like to just be like, oh wow, you suck. Like I had to play other games to experience what rewards feel like. And not even like mobile games. Like I had to play like multiple different games to be like, oh wow, yeah, this game does have terrible rewards. Like this is just awful. Before it was just a guy saying it, before I was just like, I think these rewards are bad because I don't get as much as I want. Now I have comparisons. So I could be like, well, this game is better and this game is better and this game is better. And like, as far as like effort to reward value and like what the rewards mean. So like when I see this event, I was like, this event had all of the ingredients of being a pretty great event. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, just like everything else, what I get for my effort only seems good because they're starving you for all the resources. Like the same thing, the battle pass only seems good because after you work as hard as you can, you get a resource that's like literally impossible to get. And the reason that resource is literally impossible to get isn't because it like makes your character god tier. It's because they chose it to make it.
Yeah.
So like gear tier 15 gear being like the mini uniques being hard to get. I support that. It's a new gear tier. It's gating stuff. I'm fine with that. Gear tier 14 now should be easier. Gear tier 13 now, incredibly easier. You should, within a couple of days, bring any character that you unlock to gear tier 12. Seriously, that's just what it should be now. I'm not saying people who've been playing the game for 6 months, but you and I, there's no reason for us to ever experience an issue with like purple gear ever again. And we still do. That's not where the game has moved for us.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing. Like those rewards just need to go up. So like this event, bad. Like it was bad because they didn't figure out what the correct reward structure was for both individual players. They fixed it. It got better, but it wasn't good. It was close to good. It was good adjacent. Yeah. It like read a story that was good and then repeated that story to somebody, but didn't remember it very well. That's
a funny analogy. I sometimes I don't finish my words. But this wasn't a very player friendly event as far as the tone. Do you think this was a success for Scopely as far as what they intended, what they wanted? Do you feel that from what you're hearing, people were spending more because of this event? And they've done a power core spending event with Alliance before. This is the second one. Do you think something like this will return?
Oh, it'll definitely return. One of my whalier viewers said something to me that kind of like stuck with me when it comes to this kind of stuff. Yeah. Scopely wants your money, but at no point in time have they ever decided to earn your money.
Oh.
So they're like, that's what he said. And he's like, I'm not spending nearly as much as I used to. And I was like, wow, I didn't even think of that. Like they do, they want your money. They're selling you stuff and they're getting some people's money.
Yeah.
But they're not trying to earn it. At this point, they're playing the game of like, you spend the money or you don't spend the money and we don't care. And this is the perfect event. This event, if done right, would have generated a ton of people buying cores to justify the expenditure. And I'm sure that there was a lot of people who did, and by a lot, I mean a couple hundred. There are 400,000 players active in this game. Whatever other number people hear is incorrect, maybe 450, but like the numbers of active players in this game have gone down because the number of free-to-play players isn't growing and the number of whales is shrinking. So it's like, so like they could have made more money by making things worthwhile. And yes, it's always going to be harder for a free-to-play player. It has to be. That's the whole point. You're playing the game for free, so the experience is going to be tougher for you. That's just what it is. But it's also harder for spenders. Like, isn't that crazy? Like I'm 10 million TCP, and I spent half as much as the dude in that like mobile gamer video blog post, like 40,000. Like he spent $40,000 and he's 12 million TCP. And I'm like, he spent twice as much as me and he's 2 million higher TCP.
That's
like,
I mean, when we talk about the value of what you get in this game, Mobile Gamer said he spent hundreds of dollars on those 15 pieces just from donations and not even able to do one character. So the value is not really there as far as spending money and being able to progress your roster. A lot of times, once in a while, they have these awesome offers, but not normally.
And again, it's okay to have high priced offers, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
But the game has to be playable without them. Yeah. And that's the issue we're running into now. The game is actually not as playable. And just to address one thing, if you're one of the players, not you, but like just in general, if you're one of the players who are like happy with the point of the game, shut up about it. Like seriously, just shut up. Because if you're happy, then what does it matter that like someone like me has a problem with the game? All you're doing is bringing the same toxicity that you're accusing other people of bringing by being like, well, the game is great as far as I'm concerned. Like, well, then shut up. Enjoy your game. What do you care what other people have to say? I've been seeing it a lot more and more. I think it's starting to irk me.
It's that snowball effect, man. I think there's some people that just kind of go.
Why are you trying to defend something you enjoy? Like, you don't have to defend something you enjoy. You enjoy it. Who cares if some rando on the internet doesn't like the thing you like? Like, shut up.
Yeah. All right. It is not all doom and gloom, though. We had some good things happening. One of them was this. Bishop got added to the Ultimates Basic Premium Mega Orbs. Rhino removed. Does this make you happier? Is this ease up some of the complaining that we're getting these characters added to these orbs a little more consistently? They're not farmable, in my opinion, but it's been pretty consistent for a little while now that we're getting these pretty reliably and things taken out of the mega orbs. Still is a pretty crappy orb, but do you like the trend? Do you like the what they started with this?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think like this is a great half measure. And I mean that with no sarcasm. This is an absolutely phenomenal half measure. Like this is a very good hold over. Like we're going to do this for now while we fix the other things that are broken on our side. So like, I like the fact that you can now access these characters a little bit more reliably. Yeah. Specifically in the Ultimates Orb, because for me, I'm getting like an Ultimates Orb every day just from playing the game. So I'm like, cool, open it. And it's not like there's any value in opening anything else in the Ultra Store. Like, oh, I'm going to spend 4,500 Ultra credits on 10 pieces of purple gear. Like, okay, sport. And then the gear tier 14 gear orbs in the Ultra Store. Like, all right, cool. Thanks, buddy. Like, no, thank you. So like, yeah, the character shards and the Ultimate Orb stuff make it a little bit better because it's guaranteed 15. But like, honestly, adding him to a basic or a premium orb, cool. Yeah. Great. Yeah. I'm not buying premium orbs because I could still, I have the same chance of pulling Bishop as I do Nebula. And as long as that statement is true, I will not be going out of my way to open premium orb. Like I'm not doing anything for it.
Makes sense. The premium orbs are very devalued. What is it? What is it when we don't have that 15% chance? I'm thinking red stars, but it's less than 1% for each character because we have over 100 characters in the game in the premium orb. So
0.77
yeah,
or
it's
something.
just really bad. But we got a Blitz returning. You can still get shards even if you don't pull them into orbs for his Blitz, but you're gonna have to Blitz very, very hard. Big scores. Cutoff. Approaching that 40 million mark for Bishop, Iceman, and this. Still about 38 million. What are you thinking for this second iteration of this Bishop Blitz coming? 38 again, 39, or are we gonna see 40 for this one?
This one's got red stars in it, man. This one might go a little bit higher. I've heard, again, this is anecdotal, but I've heard more people throughout like Reddit and my stream and other stuff complain about not getting good Bishop shards. Even I think Remen on his like first couple of days had terrible Bishop shards. I don't even remember. And Remen spends way too much. So even someone like with the idea is that like, it's possible that people with high rosters are also like, well, I need these 4 Bishop reds, you know, like, so I think this is at least 30. I don't think this is going to see a drop off the way you normally do.
You said at least 30, at least 40 or at least
38. At least like at least the number.
Okay. Minimum 38. Yeah. I mean, I would, if I were you, I would say it's, if I were you guys, I would, if you're shooting for that 1%, be safe. Go for 40. Go for 40. It's probably going to end up in this range.
This sucks because now, guys, can you get to 40 million points in Blitz? No, don't bother.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter? You know, even if you look at like the 2 to 3 cutoff is 24 million. Like, and that's what 55 shards.
Yeah, that's a big difference. If you can't get that at 3% for this 100 characters unlocked, Blitz, there's so many ways to fix Blitz. One of them is to increase this cutoff between his 100 and the 55. Add like 85 there, make it 2%, and then 3% would give you 55. Something like that. I think it should be a little more fair with that.
You're talking about the entirety of the game here. Like, we're not in shards. These numbers make sense if like Blitz was sharded the same way like Arena is. Like, yeah, you get 100 shards, which is a 3-star character. Like, that makes sense. Giving out like 100 shards to 3,000 players, because that's usually the cutoff for top one is like the top 3,400 or so. Yeah. Giving like 100 shards to a little bit over 3,000 players, and like that's out of the total number of players in the game. That's abysmal. It was always abysmal. Yeah. People always used to fight me like, but they're giving more shards out for easier. I'm like, no, they're not. They're giving less shards out. They're giving less meaningful shards out. Like before, 85 shards for top 2K was a relevant number. You know, like 85 shards for top 2K was relevant. Yeah. And now, like, it's harder to get. It doesn't matter that a couple more people are getting them because the cutoff line is just causing such a huge problem. Like for an entire game, as far as I'm concerned, if you scored 100 points, if you score top 100, if you got 50 million points in a Blitz among the entire game, and like in one Blitz, and you get less than a 5-star version of the character, to me, that's like highway robbery. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me that people are willing to do that much work for 100 character shards. That blows my mind. Before, I used to do Blitz reviews, and like I was a big Blitz guy. I was like, this is how you Blitz. Like, this is how you get points. This is how you get top 1,500, top 2K. And this is how you get the most amount of shards so you can guarantee yourself a 4-star character, because those were like how the things work. Yeah. Now I'm just like, don't even Blitz. Don't even, like, literally, it's not even a way to get resources anymore.
Need some fixes. Scopely. Blitzsim was good, but it posed some problems for a lot of players as well, and we need some fixes for that. So
Blitzsim is absolutely phenomenal.
It is.
Now remove the limit.
Yeah, this.
Now remove the 8 times limit. Now it's time.
It is. All right, let's
now remove the 2-hour limit. Like, put the cooldown down to 1 hour. Put the cooldown down to 50 minutes.
No, up it to 6 hours.
No, that does the same thing. Raising the limit creates the exact same issue. It just makes it actually easier for people with higher TCPs to succeed. Lowering the limit returns.
Do Tony's suggestion. I'm not. I'm not thinking it through correctly.
No, I'm just saying lowering the limit returns the game state to the people who are willing to spend the most time. Yeah, I understand. No one wants to lose sleep over a Blitz.
Yeah,
but you're also choosing to lose sleep over a Blitz. So like, shut up. Like you're choosing to lose sleep over it.
Well,
not,
I mean,
know.
if it was unlimited and it was 1 hour time, that's 24 times a day that you could blitz. That would be.
Yeah, but would you blitz 24 times a day?
Nope.
No, cool. So, what does it matter? Like,
people will though.
Someone will, and let them get rewarded for it.
Yeah. There's issues with
But
Blitz.
then the Blitz bot will come back, which, by the way, in case anyone isn't aware, the Blitz bot went nowhere. It's now the RTA bot. Like, yeah, just to let you guys know, the Blitz bot still exists, but now like Blitz is just auto, so it does RTA for you. Like it still exists. You can see it everywhere, and you know when you log in and someone's botting.
All right. I guess this turned to not. I guess discussing Blitz. Blitz is not in a good place anyway. But Bishop's cool. All right. Poll. Yag's poll for passing Dark Dimension. Watch for minute Shake It's poll for beating Dark Dimension poll. We got the Cosmic poll right now. Minerva or Thanos. Who are you voting for in this one?
Minerva.
Cool. The more important question though, who do you think is going to be for City and who do you think is going to be for Global when they release these polls?
Oh, City will be like Anti-Venom and
Scream.
Some other useless character.
Scream and Anti-Venom?
It'll be like Anti-Venom and then some other horrible option. Punisher. Like Anti-Venom or Punisher,
yeah.
You know, like.
All right, what about Global? Yeah, what about Global?
Oh, I'm crossing my fingers for Emma, but like, you know, like please be Emma, but it won't be. It'll be
Stature
like
and Black Widow.
It might be Sinister actually. For a long time, we've been talking about a Sinister Blitz, but I don't believe we've ever had.
How was he released?
Blitz.
Was he released via Blitz?
No, he was a milestone.
Like a mini milestone character.
He was a mini milestone.
Okay,
yeah, I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
I don't. It's been so long. I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I remember giving them so much money for Sinister when he came out. I was like, whatever. This guy's the best character I've ever seen.
It's good. It's really good. It's future proof too. All right.
Oh yeah.
Now we did get a legendary event returning. Finally, the event that they said is going to return. Black Bolt came back. A lot of players unlocking Black Bolt, which is a very good thing because it's a very good character. Where do you think Black Bolt fits in the meta right now? Has he dropped off or is he just not as valuable in these dark dimensions and nobody's building him, or has he fallen off?
Like fallen off is a weird way to say it. Like,
is he not a part? Is he not a part of the meta anymore?
If he's not a part of the meta, it's not because the meta shifted. It's because people are like the meta grew to include more people using things that are different. Black Bolt is what I call an evergreen character. You can invest as much as you want into Black Bolt, and you will never have no use for him. You might find things that do better than Black Bolt, like U7.5. Previously, I used Black Bolt because he was awesome. Now, I use the Symbiotes and the Axemen. He has been overtaken in value. That said, I can still use Black Bolt.
Yeah.
Like, nothing changed. He's not impossible to use. I just got better options. My Black Bolt is one of my strongest characters. He's like 130k. Like, I don't regret that. I still get uses out of him. I used him in Dark Dimension 3. Was he great? No, but I brought him up because he's great elsewhere. I use him in the cosmic lanes of like certain raids or in the bio lanes. The thing is, Black Bolt it's all its typing. Black Bolt is a legendary character with bio typing. There are a lot of good bio investments in the game, and he fell off. That just doesn't mean that he's not useful. Like, it just means that
there's other characters
you can use the same gear better. So like, here's the answer. If you want to work on the symbiote team, because you can, they're a better investment, but it's also 5 characters that take bio gear.
Yeah.
If you invest in 2 characters, you use Yo-Yo and Black Bolt, and then you could use 3 symbiotes. Like, it does, you know what I mean? Like, or you could use some hybrid. I actually beat the Ultimus node with a hybrid team. That's Yo-Yo, Black Bolt, Emma, Symbiote Spider-Man, and Shuri. That's how I one-shot the U7.5 Ultimus node.
Okay, I'm gonna try that next time.
But like they're all 6 red. They're all like they're all maxed out. Yeah. But that's the version of the team that I use because I have complete control over the fight. Is that the best team in the game? Probably not. But like this stupid idea that I keep seeing that like the character is either the best possible thing or useless, like, is the same idea of the same people that are like, Ultron's not good anymore. Like, Ultron is still phenomenal. There's things that you can use that are better than Ultron. That's true, but don't diminish the value of a good character because better characters exist. That kind of thing irks me. I still think Black Bolt's one of the top 5 characters in the game. I still think the Inhumans are one of the top 5 characters, the top 5 teams in the game.
Three of them are really good. 3 of them are really, really good.
Well, even the team, like, think about how ridiculous it is that, like, Black Bolt and Yo-Yo are so good that Quake and Karnak on that team doesn't hurt. Because they suck. Like, they're terrible characters. Well,
Quake,
how good is that team? That
Quake's kit is not that bad. It's just the cooldowns and
her everything else sucks.
Yeah.
Her kit's great. Everything else on her thing sucks.
I was worried because people were asking me on chat, like, hey, is Black Bolt going to come back with Doom? More people getting Doom and ISO 8. But I'm like, wait, did he fall off? I think he's still a good character. I just think other people are using other characters. There's other bio options that are better for Dark Dimension, and they're building those, and other different teams you could use in arrays. But I still think he's a great character. So everybody that unlocked Black Bolt this week, congratulations, guys. Congrats. You got an awesome character, one of the best characters in the game. Quick question that chat was asking me that I did want to get your opinion on. As right now, if a free-to-play player is playing, and not one that's playing since global launch and has a big roster, someone that starts relatively within the past few months, is this game still enjoyable right now in its current state, before we know what's happening, the blog posts and everything? Is it still enjoyable as a free-to-play player?
No.
Why do you think it's not enjoyable? Because of the offers, because the catch-up mechanic's not there, or what does spending money give someone early game that they aren't able to get? Because I don't even know if spending money, unless you're spending thousands, will help a new player at this point with the catch-up mechanics that we have.
No. And it's really simple. It's because this game's honeymoon phase has gotten shorter. Okay. The amount of time where you're like, wow, this is great and exciting, and I'm getting more resources and I'm competitive. Like, as a free-to-play player, that time has gone down. Now, I know plenty of people who are still free-to-play players who are enjoying this game. You do have to remember, a free-to-play player will enjoy a game for much longer than someone who spent money, because their investment is their time.
Yeah.
And it just will happen longer. The truth is, as you get to the part of the game, I'm not even saying where I'm at or where you're at, but as you get to the part of the game where, like, it's supposed to be like the mid-game, we'll call it, like, you're going to start feeling the struggle of, like, well, how do I get into Dark Dimension 3? What do I bring in? That's most of the questions I see from players, even spenders, that are like, what do I do for Dark Dimension 3? I'm like, you don't. One of the reasons why so many of us rush through Dark Dimension 3 is because we have the downtime. When, like, right now, I know it sounds crazy, we're in a downtime right now. Like, you either did Dark Dimension 4 or you're about to do Dark Dimension 4, and then the time between you completing Dark Dimension 4 and whatever Dark Dimension 5 is, that's a downtime. That's time for you to just gain stuff, gather materials, like, wait. You're just gonna sit there and build your roster as new characters come out, but you're not working towards anything. Free-to-play players now, they have zero downtime. It's all catch-up time, and the mechanisms within the game to catch up don't exist. There's monetary mechanisms, but even then, look at, like, someone like Philosopher, who's been playing the game for, I think, less than a year, and he spent a ton of money, and, like, he's caught up to, like, players like me at the cost of spending probably, like, triple my original investment in this game, because that's just where the line comes up. Like, it's not there. I don't even think this game is good for casual spenders, and I'm doing a new casual spender series starting next month, where I have a limit of how much I can spend a month, and I'm going to make decisions regarding that. And I'm telling you, in the early stages of the game, you're going to be able to reach that limit real quickly. But as you go on, the amount of money that will benefit you for spending is very low. Unless you have very low standards, then spend whatever you want, and also come date me. Because if you have that low standards, I have plenty to offer.
Nice. Links for all his channels and his contact information down below, guys, if you're looking for that. But
and my OnlyFans.
And OnlyFans. All right, but yeah, the catch-up mechanics, something we talk about all the time, and something that really needs to be addressed for newer players, because you know, people aren't going to play a game forever. But if nobody new is coming in, then there's no new mid-game players. There's no new end-game players that are there, and yeah, so people need to be enticed to keep playing this game, and I hope they do address that in the blog post. All right, and it is time that we're going to talk about Wandavision. So if you have not seen that episode 7, the latest episode, then close your ears, because we are going to discuss Wandavision. What did you think of this latest episode, brother?
I was sitting here the entire time watching that episode, like, yeah, I know she's we're spoilers, right?
Yeah, spoiler free. We're doing spoilers. Talk about Agatha.
Okay.
Talk about.
Yeah. So like we knew it was Agatha Harkness. Like,
yes.
Like her name was Agnes. It's Agatha Harkness. Anyone who's familiar with the comics know who she is. Plenty of people had no idea who that is. They Googled it. They found the comic explain video, and then they're like, "Oh, now I know who that is."
Yes.
Like, so like that's fine. There's plenty of what we call Marvel virgins laying around, and I don't gatekeep. Like if you don't know anything about the content, I'm the happiest person to tell you.
Okay.
I love the idea of people like, "Oh, who's so and so?" I'm like, "Oh, I can tell you everything," you know, because that's my nerddom. My nerddom is comic books.
Yeah.
So, like when I saw Agatha, Catherine Hahn, the actress, beautiful. She's so good the entire series that I actually had to go back and watch her and like get ideas.
She really captured that 60s vibe, that 60s sitcom vibe, the 70s sitcom vibe, the 80s. I mean, all those different genres. Same with Elizabeth Olsen. I think both of them did a really, really good job in how they're switching, how they're acting based on what genre they're in or what decade they're in. Both of them very good.
The show, I don't like how they released it. I feel like there was a little bit of a pacing issue with the show. But now that we've gotten this many episodes, it came together in a way that makes it an enjoyable watch through.
Yeah.
So anyone who hasn't watched it, if you're still listening to spoilers, I'm sorry. But like, if you haven't watched it, if you haven't watched what's happening, like, just wait. At this point, like, don't start now. Like, just wait until it's all over and then binge it. Because I think it's incredibly easy to binge because all the episodes are like relatively short. They're only like 20 some odd minutes.
Yeah, I heard the last two are going to be a little longer. I heard the last two are going to be a little longer. Now, the one of the big things, the Agatha reveal was, and I'm not super familiar with the comics, but people have said in the comics, she's more of a good guy, kind of toes the line between good and bad. Do you think that she is the ultimate real villain of this series?
Villain is hard. Like when you think of the idea of what a bad guy is. No, she's not the big bad.
Someone's pulling her strings, and she's pulling Wanda's strings is what I'm leaning towards.
So you know how like if you accidentally step on an anthill, like you walk outside on the street and there's like an anthill and you accidentally step on it, like the ants might look at you as a vengeful god. Right? Like you're a bad person, but like you didn't notice.
Like Loki.
Agatha, magic in the MCU is very different, or in Marvel is very different than like power. Okay. Magic has its own like thing. Okay. So Agatha is like when you look at Agatha Harkness from the comics, when you say like, well, she's a good guy or a bad guy. No, she's beyond your morality because there's a different morality because she interacts with beings who are at a power level like beyond ridiculous. Okay. Like Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful people in the Marvel universe. Doctor Doom is so strong because he has magic and technology. You know, like so many people don't quite get the magic. So Agatha's not a good guy or a bad guy. She answers to a power that's stronger than what anything else is. And in the comics, for the most part, it's Mephisto. They might be bringing Mephisto into this. There feels like there's a lot of people who could be the bad guy in this storyline.
There's a lot of rumored characters that are making making cameos. I mean, I've heard all the way from Professor X, Magneto. I've heard Doctor Doom, Mr. Fantastic Beast. I've heard so many names. There's maybe Skrulls that are in there.
There's always Skrulls.
Now,
everyone's a Skrull.
Well, what the engineer, I think, is where a lot of people are leaning for the Skrull.
Well, we met the engineer.
So the engineer. Do you think that person? I think a lot of people were like, oh, is it gonna be Beast? Is it gonna be Dr. Doom? And then we got some random person. But do you think that random person was a Skrull?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it wasn't it was an awesome random person.
I'm not kidding. I read comic books in the 90s, guys. Okay. Everyone is a Skrull. Okay. Who do you Skrull? They're all Skrulls.
All of them are Skrulls.
Everyone's a Skrull.
Even the director of Sword. You think that guy's a Skrull, or he's just a
Skrull?
All right.
Everyone's a Skrull. Wanda's a Skrull.
All right,
they're all Skrulls. Everyone is always a Skrull.
They're all Skrulls. All right, leave your predictions. How many Skrulls are in WandaVision in this next episode, guys?
I do have one more thing.
All right, one more thing.
I am 100% convinced, and I will be very sad if I'm wrong, that Pietro, Evan Peters' Pietro, is the rabbit.
Hey, that's where I'm seeing a lot. Is that he's the rabbit?
I'm convinced that her rabbit, little Scratchy or whatever his name is, Mr. Scratchy, yeah. Mr. Scratchy is Evan Peters. 100%, no questions asked. That is what's happening.
Fast too. He's
and
fast.
I don't know why,
he's fast.
But it's hilarious. Yeah, because he's a rabbit, and there's a couple of times where he makes like certain faces, and it looks like a bunny scrunching its nose and stuff, and I'm like, ah. So I'm pretty convinced.
Isn't the rabbit her brother or someone like that?
Son, Nicholas Scratch.
Yeah, Scratch. That's
from the comics. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that's from the comics.
We'll see. So, all right. Before let's move on from WandaVision. Let's talk about these mutant rumors. There was some rumors a few weeks ago from our brother Drew. That is the resident rumor guy. You're the I don't know how to describe your rumors, because you know a lot of things. I don't know how to put it in a good way.
I'm the anti-plumber because I can't help but cause leaks.
Okay. All right, but rumors. Where's your mind taking you if you don't already know? And if you do know, then talk about it slyly. But he mentioned someone hanging 10. He mentioned people that were in X Factor in comics, coming 3 characters. Where does your mind take you with these? I think one of them's kind of obvious with the hints.
So some are rumors and some are speculation and some is information.
Okay.
So the information I have is that the first earliest information I had is that the X Factor team wouldn't be completed until like maybe quarter 2, quarter 3 of this year, post March, May, June, July kind of time.
Which could still be happening because there's rumors of 2 characters, not 3. So
yeah. So that's and again, I have to take what I hear with a grain of salt, because sometimes it's 100% accurate and sometimes it's like 82% accurate. And sometimes it's Night Nurse rework, which we've heard about, which I've been talking about for like 6 months and we just got it. So like, when I get something, I have to like say, hey, I heard this thing is happening, and that's it. So what I've heard as far as X Factor characters are concerned is, Declan, Rictor, Spiral.
Okay.
Those are characters I heard of.
Okay.
Additionally, I heard of, and I made the kind of joke, Multiple Man and Polaris.
Okay.
Now, I don't know any ordering on any of those characters, but those are the characters I've heard of. So does it matter who they add to the team? Probably not. For those who don't know, Multiple Man is Jamie Maddox.
I mean, really, it's really about their kits, not who the characters are. Yeah. The characters are more for the animations and the look in the game, but the kits are what matter.
Multiple Man, leader of X Factor, Jamie Madrox, one-time leader of X Factor. He can literally make clones of himself. He was in one of the garbage X-Men movies. Cool. And then Polaris, another child of Magneto, literally has the same power. Nothing changes.
Okay.
So I don't know. And then Declan and Spiral and Rictor are all also mutant. Spiral's not a mutant, but like they're all like also like Spiral has multiple arms and is like a combat person.
Okay.
So I don't know. What I do know for a fact is that Silver Surfer is coming
next patch.
Either in the next patch or I believe next patch, because everything I've seen has placed him as the next milestone character.
Oh, that would make sense more than Moon Knight. Actually, I kind of like that.
Everything I've seen has said Silver Surfer is the next milestone character. That's it.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on Gambit and Rogue, because this seems like the time.
It's after Valentine's Day. Like, it's after Valentine's Day. They should be in a game already, right?
Right? Yeah, like, but like, they're done.
Or Wandavision.
Like,
they should have had a rework for Valentine's Day. Nothing Valentine's Day.
I have no idea what's going on with some of these characters. Like, we know they're getting reworked. We know the characters are coming to the game, but they're holding them. And I guess like now seems like a time because everyone's kind of like, bro, Marvel Strike Force. So you're like, here's Rogue, and everyone will be like, yay, we forgot why we were mad for like another couple months. So I guess maybe Silver Surfer might be strong enough of like a character to make the people who are like kind of mad be like less mad.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Got it.
And there's also like reworks can happen at any time, but realistically reworks they
usually don't announce them too far in advance. We usually get a lot of the rework notice on patch day. Yeah.
So like I've said many times, like we're not getting a hand rework this year. We weren't getting it last year, but we are getting a Ravager rework this year because that's just how it's going to break down. So like, when is it going to happen? I don't know. I also don't care.
Okay.
Like it doesn't matter. But so things are going to happen, but like I can't be certain as to the time because I don't think most of the time they're certain as of the time. They barely get their events right.
What are you?
So I think that they just kind of play it out.
So you're not sure about the timing, but what are you hearing about teams? I think the obvious team, if Silver Surfer came to the game, would be a part of the Fantastic Four. Maybe some synergy with Sue and Doom, maybe even She-Hulk. I don't know. But these mutants, what team do you think they're going to be on? I went back and looked at what Drew actually said. He said they were a part of X-Factor in the comics. He did not necessarily say that they're part of X-Factor in Marvel Strike Force. What team do you think, if we're getting Polaris, if we're getting what is the other, Multiple Man? Do you think they will be part of X-Factor like in the comics or some other hybrid team?
I think that they would have to be part of X-Factor only because of like, one, they are X-Factor characters, and two, you know, every X-Man has been in every team. Like it's irrelevant. Like every single X-Man has been in, like everyone has been Brotherhood. Good guys have been like it doesn't matter. X-Men are so interchangeable that they could just like throw their name at a dart and be like, the new astonishing X-Man. Yeah. Nightcrawler, the new astonishing X-Man. Boom boom. Like who cares? Cypher, you know, like whatever. Elixir, it doesn't matter.
Who are some of these characters? I don't even know some of them, but
yeah, we're doing the deep dive into garbage X-Men.
Let's move on. I got finish your thought. Finish your thought. I got one more thing I want to talk about.
It's just an issue of like, it makes sense to finish the X-Factor team because the X-Factor team needs to be finished.
Yeah.
But at the same point, we also need the fifth on the Marauders because we only have 4 Marauders. And Emma specifically, and this is kind of a spoiler, kind of a leak, depending on where you go on it, is not long for the world of Marauders. She will always work with the Marauders, but there's something specific to her that's going to happen. I don't know how soon, probably not too soon.
Oh my goodness.
Because
this is a surprise to me, guys. Let me know your comment. Let me know what you think Tony's talking about in the comments, guys, because that could be interpreted in multiple different ways. One more quick question before we get out of here. The skins. They were mentioned a long time ago, all the way back in year 1 in an interview at San Diego Comic-Con from Jason Bender. People have been reporting they're getting some polls in the game, and they're talking about skins. One of the characters that was mentioned was Captain America Mjolnir. What are you hearing about skins? Is that something that's on the horizon for 2021, or are they just testing and seeing what the response to that would be?
So first, their official term is outfits in this game.
Oh, not skins. Okay.
No. I'm letting you know, like, they are skins, but their term in the game is outfits.
To us, they're skins. To Scopely, they're outfits.
Yeah. Scopely, that's the term you're going to buy outfits for your characters. Okay. The reason it's taken so long to add these skins or outfits to the game is because money. It's all about money.
Of course.
If there's 2 different models for skinning, skinification. Yeah. All these sound like terrible porn titles. The options are change how the character looks, make money off people who waste money. I am a person who will waste money on skins. I think skins are cool. I like that. Like that's cool. Or change how the character works, charge more money for it, and technically make them a progression system. You see that in stuff like Marvel Contest of Champions.
Future Fight sort of.
Actually, a lot.
Future Fight sort of does that.
Future Fight 2. Sorry, that's also another one. So like skins change the character.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of skins changing the character, because if you make skins change the character, you're required to allow players the opportunity to farm or access those character changes, and Scopely sucks at that.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. They are absolutely atrocious at making things accessible in the game, period. So I don't like that. But I do like the idea of like, hey, spend like $15-20 to change the color of your character. Because, and I mean this, I have a term,
that
and
seems
you're gonna have to bleep
expensive.
this out.
The price point seems kind of expensive, but I get what you're saying. I have
a term for you. It's called, you're gonna have to bleep me out, esoteric bull.
Okay, that's 3 already. That's 3 already.
Yeah.
Let me put an X. Let me put an X. I know I gotta edit that out.
It means like it's useless. It does nothing, but you like it. It has no value other than the value you ascribe to it.
Hey, that enjoyment is real value, though. Enjoying it is real value.
That's what I'm saying. The value you ascribe. Yeah. So if you charge whatever price you charge me for a skin, it doesn't matter. If all it does is change how the character looks, like Captain America with Mjolnir, or like Thor Ragnarok Thor, or
Gladiator Hulk,
Wolverine, OG Wolverine, OG Wolverine costume, like if it's one of those things, there is literally no price you can charge that makes a difference. Obviously you could be like, well, with $10 more people will buy it, but like it doesn't matter. What you want to find always when you're doing stuff that esoteric garbage is like, what's the point? How much can we charge that will get the most money? Not how many people will buy it, not how, like, just what will make the most money. Will $20 make us more money than $10? Because it doesn't matter how many people buy it. They just need to know that math. Ultimately, skins don't matter. They won't change your character, and it doesn't make you better at the game. It's just something you enjoy. Yeah. So they could charge any amount of money for a skin, as far as I'm concerned, and it won't matter to me, because if I want to waste $50 to make my Magneto have a white or a black suit, then that's my prerogative.
All right. So there's so many things I want to comment on, but this video is already going long. So we'll just leave it at that. And if skins gets more traction, then we'll start discussing this a little more. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. That is it for us this week. Tony, my friend, it is always a pleasure. What are you looking at? Let everybody know where they can find you before you go. There, yes. I want to see your eyes. There. Oh, what are you looking at?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't a leak. Wasn't a text from somebody telling me about
more. All right. It wasn't a leak. All right. Where can everybody find you, my friend?
You can find me at your dollar store asking for cigarettes outside.
All right. That is where he's at, guys. All over the country, all over the world. Any dollar store, that's where you can find him. The links to that dollar store will be down below, guys. And thank you once again, my brother. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. Check out all of the links for Tony down below. OnlyFans is going to be there as well. Reddit, his Patreon, all that stuff, guys. And I will see you guys next time. Subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. Check me out on social media. And Tony, before you go, give me that Hulk fist bump, brother. Where is it? There it is. Oh, yeah. Tony at ValleyFlyin.